Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, today is the 3-year anniversary of my first attempt at making bismuth crystals. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. What had happened was that I was working at a tutoring center. I didn't get along with the boss, but I got along with all of my students, just like I now do at the community college. My student had a really fancy periodic table. It had pictures of all the elements as well as how rare they are in the Earth's crust. And so I discovered that bismuth is almost as rare as gold. It's a few thousand times cheaper and it makes beautiful crystals. And so I ordered a 10-pound bismuth bar. And it arrived 3 years ago today, and the rest is history. Um, I've also branched away into other areas of art as a result of that. I often wonder what my life would look like had my student not brought the periodic table to tutoring that day. I sometimes try not to think about it because it could be very dark, right? All the art projects have gotten me through a lot of chaos in my last 3 years. When I first moved to Phoenix, I didn't always get accepted at work, right? And then I had a spate of being heartbroken, right? Not because of anybody, but just circumstances. And I've had spates of bad performance at work and all that. And who knows? If my student didn't bring that periodic table, something else might have developed as well. Right? We don't know, right? But it's best not to see. Well, if I had a time machine, I would not like to try out the other circumstance. Let's put it that way. Okay, but I really want to get rid of my car. I had two situations today. First, I'll let you guys think about what's the worst circumstance you can think of when you're driving along. I'll let you think about it for 10 seconds, and then I'll talk about my least favorite circumstance. Okay, I'm guessing you're probably thinking about road rage. You're probably thinking of traffic jams. You're probably thinking about bad drivers. You're probably thinking of an accident or at least a near miss. I really hate it when I see an object on the road because especially on the freeway or any high-speed road, you can't just stop. You can't just swerve around it. And it's not like you can reason with that object on the road. If it were a bad driver, you might be able to honk at them, flash them down or something, right? But seeing an inanimate object on the road, especially a big one like a piece of furniture or a blown out tire or uh, uh, right, a ladder or a mattress or I'm trying to think what I've seen before. Earlier today, it was a tire. But what are you supposed to do? I mean, you can't honk at it. You can't easily swerve around it, right? Especially on a busy road. By the time you see it, right? All right. So that was bad enough. Fortunately, my car's pretty high up. I felt the bump and everything. I slowed down a little bit, felt a bump, and I hope I didn't damage my car. On my way to the cafeteria here, I was just about to break my fast. I had fasted 16 hours, worked up a really good appetite for my favorite meal. And then I had the misfortune of being in front of a police officer. I was just about to enter a freeway when I saw the officer. And thank God I know the streets of Tempe like it's the back of my hand. And I was able to quickly merge inward as much as I can to the middle lane, and I buried my car in the traffic there. But now I was too far inward to exit at my favorite exit. I had to go a different route. Fortunately, I know Tempe like the back of my hand. Long story short, by the time I make it to the cafeteria, I have no appetite. Good and bad news. I have no appetite. It's kind of lonely, but you know what? I extend the fast by another half hour, 1 hour. But now, was I doing anything wrong that warranted wanting to evade the police? Not at all. I don't have warrants out for my arrest. I wasn't speeding or anything. I just don't have the bandwidth to deal with it. Right? And do I dislike traffic law? Generally not. I mean, there probably is one or two wacky traffic laws out there that I might dislike, but generally not. I like the fact that it's being enforced. I just don't have the bandwidth for it, and so a lot of times I have to wonder. Uh, it, obviously, the officer. I'm going to guess he has good intent. Most officers have good intentions. I know there's bad apples out there, but uh, I want to say most officers have good intentions, but creating so much stress every time, I think it's probably making me less safe on the road. Not to mention all of the other things that it's going to destroy, right? My appetite, my work performance. Let's forget about that part. It's probably making me less safe on the road. So I'm wondering if you guys have any suggestions for how we can enforce our traffic laws without creating so much, because I can't be the only one experiencing traffic anxiety every time this happens, right? If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment, and maybe I can send it to a suggestion to the police department, or more generally, I can make a video about it. And I don't know. Obviously, I wouldn't like it if we stopped enforcing traffic law, right? Let's just look at what happened during COVID when they kind of slowed down on enforcing it, right? That wasn't a fun time either, right? So some other way to fix this, right? But this is a big reason why I want to get rid of my car. I mean, have I ever gotten into an accident because I was worried about being bullied? Probably not, but it creates so much background stress. I mean, I generally can swallow something like that, but it creates a background layer of stress, right? And then you add to that other things like, for example, I'm an adjunct professor. My student turns in their homework late, or the uncertainty about the contract, relationship dramas. You add to that any other thing, and all of a sudden it puts you over the limit, right? That's the picture I want you guys to have, right? After all, when I was in Taiwan, I wasn't driving. I had relationship dramas there too. I was looking for work there and I couldn't find work. I had that too, but it didn't sit on top of a mountain of background stress, right? All right. Anyways, I'm going to seriously think hard about getting rid of my car. I'm thinking, I was just doing some calculations. If I didn't have a car and the expenses associated with it, I could actually afford to live a lot closer to campus anyway. So it might not be that bad of a trade-off, right? The only thing I don't have is, I'm only an adjunct, so they send me to different campuses all the time, right? That's the only reason I need a car at the moment, if you really stop and think about it, right? This is the Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum.